Good morning. Welcome to the beautiful South Padre Island, Texas. My name is Wendy Knight. I am the Chief Executive Officer at Sea Turtle Inc. and my partner in crime today.
Hi guys, I'm Dr. Amy, the Chief Conservation Officer at Sea Turtle Inc.
So we appreciate you joining us. We're going to spend a couple of minutes with an introduction just to give people the opportunity to jump on. But happy day after the 4th of July. We actually had a wonderful celebration here.
Did you see the fireworks?
They are the best of the year. You know, see, South Padre Island is known for fireworks, but if you have not been here to see the 4th of July fireworks, it should be on your bucket list of things to do. So despite what you see behind us and the gorgeous beach and the gorgeous weather, we are aggressively preparing for the arrival of Hurricane Beryl. And we are really inundated with questions both online, in our facility, and around town, and the state of concern for Sea Turtle Inc., for the season of nesting that we're in and our hospital. So Dr. Amy and I thought I'd spend a little bit of time today, answer your questions. I know some of you submitted them in advance. And you'll also have the opportunity to submit your questions in the comments. And we have a wonderful co-host that's joining us from our studio today. Let me introduce you to Carlos. Carlos, can you come on screen and introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yes, hello everyone. So how is it going out there? I see the ocean is beautiful.
It is a stunningly beautiful day.
It really is.
Literally the calm before the storm here on South Padre Island.
Okay,
So,
let's
Carlos,
start with a few questions that have already been submitted. So we're going to start with one, which is Becca Hall wants to know, how do you protect the nest during the storm?
Becca Hall, that is the $1 million question of the day. So we'll start with nesting season. So we are in the midst of nesting season,
Yes,
right?
we are.
So for those of you that don't know, Sea Turtle Inc. protects the beaches here on South Padre Island in Boca Chica. We are one of the few nesting beaches in the world where the critically endangered Kemp's Ridley comes and nests during the daytime. So you can plan your vacation schedule around that. And this is the time of the year where our staff is working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, protecting sea turtles. So, Dr. Amy, how many nests are you up to this season already?
We've had 94 nests this season, and that comes out to a little over 9,400 eggs that we've been able to protect this season. So it's been a really exciting season.
Well, exciting is the understatement. So, in addition to that, we also relocate those nests to a protected federal corral. And that corral sits behind the dune system that you may be able to see behind me here on the beautiful beach. But our dune system protects the beaches from the area behind the dune, and our corral sits back there. So we have the fortunate and unfortunate experience of Alberto that just moved through. That was just a tropical storm for us, right?
Yep.
And so we got to see the way that flooding happened in our corral. And I actually think Carlos may have some footage of what that flooding looked like that he may be able to put up on the screen. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is the flooding that came through. We have kind of this disadvantage in the corral that there is a public walkway next to the dune system, right, Amy? And that's really where an enormous amount of flooding came through. We were able to partner with the city of South Padre Island Public Works. We were able to sub-pump that water out right away. We were at 3 o'clock in the morning, but really happy with the way that went. So we were able to use that experience to kind of make a plan. So with that, Amy, why don't you share with Becca what we've done to kind of shore up the corral now that we've seen how it flooded in Alberto?
Yeah, absolutely. So we did have that both advantage and disadvantage of seeing the way that water started to move in because of that open walkway. And so we've done several things to work to protect it for this incoming storm. And we've been working to build up a additional dune area to basically be a wall of sand to protect that corral and to make sure that we're protecting it from that water flowing in. And we've been working with the county as well to block that walkway so that water isn't coming a direct line right into it, because that made like a river basically.
It did. So, I think the viewers are seeing on the screen right now the efforts yesterday with a bunch of volunteers and staff to really build up that wall that Amy was talking about. And really it's an attempt to redirect the water, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So we just want to try to make a way for the water to have an area to flow that's not the corral, to flow into a different area. And so you can see us working. We had several volunteers come out. We had staff on 4th of July, the morning of 4th of July, a fun holiday. They came out to shovel sand and help us get that wall built up of sand to protect it and redirect that water and provide that buffer to protect those nests that are currently in that corral.
And I think the final piece of that is we're working with Cameron County to really close up that public walkway temporarily while we're experiencing the hurricane. So, now that we've talked about nesting, the other kind of elephant in the room is, all 12 months of the year, in addition to, 9,000 eggs and all the other 24-hour day work, we're a functioning hospital. We have a full hospital full of patients that we're providing life-saving medical care to, sea turtles in our hospital. So we are at this moment working within a temporary hospital. So we have made the decision to move our patients out of that temporary hospital and into the education center.
Yeah.
So we think that evacuation of that temporary facility in tent is probably the right thing to do. It'll provide the staff a safer place to provide medical care to the sea turtles, and it will provide them the opportunity to be out of the elements, away from specifically debris and things that could come. So that's kind of what we prepared for. Again, this is an organic experience that is literally changing as we speak. So why don't we invite Carlos back in and tell us what other questions we've got from people on the phone and people that are viewing now.
Yes, thank you for bringing me in. I do have a question from Carolyn, who's asking, how do you release babies when the storm comes, especially during a current hurricane? Is that something that we do?
Great. Thank you, Carolyn. I'm going to let the turtle release expert answer your question.
Thanks, Carolyn. So like anything, the situation is going to be fluid, and it's going to depend on the conditions. It will depend on the babies themselves. The great thing about sea turtle babies is usually when they come out, they are ready to go, and we work to get them out as quickly as possible. And they know what to do when they head out there. So they know to swim against those waves, head offshore, and they have had a lot of experience being able to swim against those against those waves. So again, it's going to kind of depend on the scenario. So sometimes babies will hatch and they're not quite ready. Sometimes they're ready to go, and we will release them as best we can and as safely as we can.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say generally the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, rain is water, and water's where they live.
That's right.
And, are there exceptions to that, to Dr. Amy's point, where, they come out and they're maybe not as alert, or we think there's a medical issue. But as a general rule, we saw it in Alberto. We had hatchling happen in the middle of the flooding in Alberto. They hatched into water. We got them to water. They swam away.
They did great.
So they live in storms and water all the time. So, but there'll always be exceptions for that. So thank you for the question. So Carlos, why don't you come in if you got another question for us?
Yes, I actually do have a question from Scott. And Scott wants to know, do you get a lot of patients whenever there is a tropical or a hurricane?
That's a great question.
Thank you, Scott. So interestingly enough, if you have not visited us at South Padre Island, South Padre Island has two flanking jetty systems that come out from the island that kind of help. It's a rock formation that helps direct water flow, and it serves a lot of important functions. But it unfortunately provides an opportunity for sea turtles to get stuck in high winds, high tides, and high storms. So the answer to your question succinctly, Scott, is yeah. We probably will see a little pulse of what we endearingly call rock babies. After the storm. What happens is they get blown into those rock formations and get stuck, right?
And we go out there, we're out there regularly to look for them, to try to save them and get them out of the rocks. And we may see them wash in on the beach too after the storm. So if you guys do see a sea turtle either stuck in the jetty rocks or washed in on the beach, please give us a call. We have a 24/7 emergency number. We can probably put that up, I think, on here, but it's 956-243-4361. But you give us a call and we'll come out and we'll get that turtle and get it the care that it needs.
And Amy, this is a great opportunity to point out, for those of you that are lucky enough to be enjoying summer on South Padre Island, this could happen to hatchlings.
Absolutely.
Little baby turtles don't have the same amount of strength as far as swim strength. And so when we have storms and winds and tide weirdness like this, it's very possible for a hatchling to wash back. So if you're enjoying South Padre Island next week, when it's, 100 degrees and beautiful again, and you happen to encounter a hatchling on the beach, that's another opportunity for you to call us.
Yes, please.
Because that's not normal. So we want to come out and help them get back to the right place, right?
Yep, we'll come out, we'll get them, we'll check them out and make sure either they get treatment or we can get them back out where they need to be.
Perfect, perfect. So this is a great opportunity. We'll switch back over to Carlos, and you can tell us kind of who we have watching with us and what other questions they may have.
Yes. So we do have a few people watching and sending in their questions, but I actually do have another question submitted from yesterday. And
Oh, great.
is the kids camp set to be open Monday, or is it canceled or rescheduled? And this is Bretta V337 who's asking this question.
Bretta, great question. Who knows? That's the straightforward answer. This is a moving target. If I had $10 to guess, I'm guessing this camp on Monday will be rescheduled for a different day or rebooked for a different day. But again, storms go where they want to go. So over the next 24 hours, we'll be making decisions about those, and we'll be sure to announce those. And that goes for, more than just camp, but our facility being open. Our priority over the next 3 to 4 days is to protect and conserve hatchlings and nesting females, our patients, and our residents.
Yep.
So everything will be prioritized around those 3 things, and then everything else will come in second.
Yep.
Yeah. So what else do we have, Carlos?
Yes, we have one more question on Facebook who's asking, is the education center open while patients are moved indoors? Like, what is the situation? Is the education center open, and what do we do with the patients?
Sure. So I think the question is kind of the semantics, the operation around moving things. So assuming things continue on the time path they are now, which they probably won't.
You never know.
But assuming they are, we'll probably start evacuating the hospital mid-morning Sunday. We will at some point close the facility. We're open from 9 to 5 on Sunday. We are closed to the public every single Monday. So I really do appreciate Hurricane Beryl coming on a day that we're already closed to the public. So that's one less decision. We won't have decision fatigue about closing on Monday. But we will probably close on Sunday at some point. We haven't made that decision yet. This is a great opportunity to point out that during events, catastrophes like this, we are committed to going live on our Facebook and providing updates as regularly as feasibly possible. Unfortunately, this is not our first natural disaster. No. The 2 largest cold stuns in recorded history have been handled by this organization. And you will see our commitment there for us to continue to provide you with those live stream updates as they go. And so you can watch us there. To provide you updates on not only operational hours that we are open, but any rescheduling of events, any needs we have. What we see here, we have the beauty and the honor and the privilege of living on a very tiny barrier island that's 2 short miles long and 2 short blocks deep. What that almost always means, right, is we lose power.
Yep, we do. We lose power, we lose internet.
Yeah. And so there are always things that we'll need, right? We'll need things. So we try to use the internet to try to call out for help because y'all are so supportive from everywhere that you're watching from. And hopefully you're putting where that is down in the comments. But we'll continue to make the commitment to go live for you there to keep you updated on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So Carlos, why don't you come on and join us and tell us what's going on the viewers and who's watching?
Yes. We actually have a few shout outs since you mentioned them. So let me go ahead and name a few. We have C.S. Duggar, who's watching us from Kansas.
Oh, we know Duggar is a longtime follower, a longtime supporter. Thank you. We are always grateful to see your name pop up and to see gifts from you. So thank you so much.
We also have Susan, who's watching us from all the way from Somerset, Kentucky.
Oh. Susan. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
We miss you.
We also have Bianca, who's watching from San Antonio.
Great. Wonderful. Hi, Bianca. Thank you. Hopefully San Antonio will stay dry and well from this event as well. We're sending good luck to you too.
Mm-hmm.
And we have good wishes from Emily, watching all the way from England.
Oh, thank you,
Hi, Emily. We love our international followers. I think this week we've had Australia, Scotland. We've had quite the big mix this week. So glad to have y'all with us.
On Facebook, watching us from Tristan, watching us from Dallas.
Tristan, that's my oldest daughter.
Hi, Tristan.
Amy.
Great. That's my oldest daughter. Hopefully that means my grandchild is watching too. Hi, baby girl. So that is
from Minnesota.
Gail,
hey,
welcome
Gail.
Minnesota. You were probably the only one not worried about this event.
Yes.
So congratulations. So we love to have y'all join us. We thank you for your time and effort.
Absolutely.
Dr. Amy, any final words before I wrap up our time today?
Thank you guys for joining us. You know, I appreciate everybody coming out to try to support us and keep involved with what's going on with us in this ever-changing situation.
You know, I'll wrap up with one last question. Carlos, can you tell us if we have one more question, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yes, we actually have one last question, and the question is, what can we do for the staff?
Great, thank you. So I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate you asking about the people. This is an organization that is really fueled by people that have just a passion to help. And these kind of events can be tiring. So the very first thing I can tell you is encouragement, positive vibes, following here, sending well wishes. We love that. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
We are a donation-based organization, so if you feel led to participate and help us with either preparation for this event or what's more likely coming, the consequences of it and whatever damage we have to deal with, you are able to donate to us in any of the links that you'll find below. We also have an Amazon wish list. So we did go in yesterday to try to evaluate what we'll need in recovery and what supplies we're short on. So that link will be down below for you to watch as well if you'd like to send a gift. I would encourage you, if you send something through the Amazon wish list, there is a place to send a message. Please do that. The staff actually does read those, and they send back individualized messages to those people. So any words of encouragement and positivity, and we just ask you to keep not only Sea Turtle Inc., but the millions of people along the Gulf Coast that are preparing for this event and what it could mean in your thoughts and your mind over the next 48 hours as we watch how this unfolds. So I want to thank Carlos for his role today in helping us out. Carlos, we'll see you back in the studio. For those of the rest of you that joined us today, I want to thank you on behalf of myself and Dr. Amy for coming today. I want to thank you for your words of encouragement and your questions and your commitment to our organization. You know, we're ready. We don't know what's coming, but we have a group of staff of 19 strong and hundreds of volunteers that are committed to an animal that without our help could not help itself. And we're going to be here. And we'll keep you updated as it goes. And we are thankful for you and your support. And we wish you a beautiful Friday and a beautiful 4th of July weekend. So with that, I think we'll sign out. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great afternoon.